This is agenda morning session with the Cameron Parish Police Jury, Monday, March 10th, 2025. Did the pledge of allegiance? All right, Brandy Poussaint.
So as customary, every time we get a new employee in our office, we always make a point to come introduce him, or he or she, to the jury. And I'd like to introduce y'all, Mr. Jordan Poole.
How y'all doing?
So
I'm the new Marine Extension Agent for LSU Ag Center and Sea Grant. I've been on the job since January 2nd, so about 2 months. Just kind of what I've been doing, working with the alternative oyster culture stuff, getting to know them, kind of figure out some of the needs of the fishermen. Working with 4-H, we're working on a Youth Wetlands Day. Just kind of getting a feel for the job and what I can do to help out. So if y'all need to reach me, Cameron Parish 4-H office, get in touch with me if there's anything y'all need. Y'all got any questions or anything? Or no? Good? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Come on, Mr. Phillip.
Good morning. Scooter Trosclair with Rockefeller Refuge, Program Manager. We have another opportunity with the fiscal year 25 with our congressional group to submit for an allocation for shoreline protection. We've been successful the last 2 years. Let's see, 2023, I think we gotten 10 million. Last year we got 20 million. It's been brought to our attention to request another 20 million. Now, it's a little tricky with what's going on, but I would like to request a support letter from the police jury that we're drafting. We're in the process of drafting, and we'll get it to you. Also, another part of that project that's been very successful is the partnership that we have with Cameron and your staff that's done a wonderful job coordinating the efforts from the state level as well as the federal level. So we'd love to try to continue that great work. So, any question? Yeah, it is. It's the Rockefeller Shoreline continuation. So we've permitted 9 miles. We've got 5 miles completed. We have about 30 million that should finish hopefully another 2.5 miles or so, which will take it all the way towards Beach Prong. Now, this money is going through the Southwest Coastal, so it's the federal project that the Corps is pushing through the Southwest Coastal. The only portion of that plan that's been funded on the eco side is the shoreline protection project. So we want to continue demonstrating the partnerships and making this thing work with ease and like it has in the past. They have actually hired I think, is it the Corps or did the parish assign the engineering firm here recently? The CPRA. The state hired engineering firm to begin the surveys. So what we're hoping all the engineering is pretty much done, where we can put all the money straight to the rocks. It's just basically the surveys, and I think some additional geotech that they're considering. But the project should be out for bid come August, which would put rock at Beach Prong and the end of Price Lake Road where the two breaches are. That's affecting all that landscape. So they've been in agreement, instead of continuing the gap, they're gonna split the two projects and do the western end and do a portion on the eastern end because of the most fragile pieces that could be jeopardized. There might be 2-3 years left, maybe at the most, before the Gulf enters into all that landscape, which, if you've seen it, I think most of y'all have seen parts of it. The Gulf will be at the highway once this goes. Yeah. So, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this will have to be an add-on if you want to push it to the voting agenda.
Good. Ms. Carmen Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, I'm Carmen Gonzalez. I'm from St. Bernard Parish in a little town called Shell Beach, and I'm here today to ask for your support. I am formed a 501c3 called Dysautonomia Louisiana. Dysautonomia is a very big, long word for a condition with nobody's heard. Back in 2009, one Sunday morning, I woke up and passed out just as I was getting out of the shower. Knocked my teeth out, broke my jaw. Ended up in the hospital. Fast forward 2 years later, 28 trips to the hospital and a life flight, they finally sent me to Vanderbilt University, and I got a diagnosis in one day. By then, I had to retire. I had a full-time home health nurse and 24-hour care, couldn't drive. I had 2 kids, one in high school and one in college, and my world was turned upside down. And I know you guys have a lot of other business things, but without your health, you can't conduct business, and my business was done over. So I promised myself, as I sat on that porch and trying to find what my diagnosis was, that if I got off the porch and they got me a diagnosis, that I would not stop sharing my story. So here I am telling you guys about something called dysautonomia. There's 15 different kinds of dysautonomia, and my goal is to find all the other people like Carmen who is out there trying to find a diagnosis. We do what we call lunch and learns and awareness events at hospitals. We send brochures and educational material to every medical facility or hospital or even schools, because 1 in every 100 teens are diagnosed with something called POTS, which is a form of dysautonomia. And it's usually overlooked because pediatricians don't know much about it. So we send a lot of brochures to school nurses as well as college facilities. And I come here today to ask you, if you notice on the little brochure that I gave you, this was my state of Louisiana that I whittled, and I've been in all of these parishes, and as you can see, you're not turquoise. So I would like to raise awareness in your parish by sending out brochures and doing awareness days in any facility y'all have. So I ask for either a letter of recommendation or support, or either a proclamation to say that here I am, welcome to the parish, and y'all support what I'm gonna do, what I'd like to do in the parish. Because nobody should struggle alone. And on top of that, there's now thousands, hundreds of it, 67% of people who have long COVID are now being diagnosed with one of the forms of dysautonomia, and it's being overlooked even in the older ages. So our membership has doubled. We do this well over 1,500 now in the state. So we have support group meetings via Zoom. We also do art therapy for the students. We have gatherings so nobody can let themselves. I know that was a lie. Dysautonomia is a neurological condition that affects the section of the brain that controls the parts of the body you don't think to control. Heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, bone marrow. And without any of those, you don't function correctly. So it's very much like your fuse box has a short. So the brain has a short, and it doesn't communicate with all those body symptoms. So you feel like somebody's just unplugged you. But in my case, they went in, put a pacemaker, defibrillator, laser nerves coming from the brain, so the heart now can control by the pacemaker, and it's been helpful. As far as bone marrow production goes, I do infusions every 3 months to keep my tank full so I can function. Here I am, I drove today, I'm so excited. But I ask for your support to come into your parish. I know you've got to have somebody like me.
Appreciate your time, thank you.
It's item 27 on the agenda. It's a proclamation, item 27.
Need to add on?
Mm-mm.
No, it's on there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
All right, Mr. Nate.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
So what do you guys thinking about the generator issues? I gave you guys a couple pictures, for the stand too. She's in pretty rough shape.
They're on there. So the pictures he's referring to is on in y'all's
They
packet.
actually pulled them up on the screen
Okay.
earlier. So it looks more than just a rebuild, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the tank, it's full of fuel too, so we lose that fuel, and that's gonna be a bad deal.
Correct.
And guys, just to provide some context for the general public, when these buildings were built, they were built with federal funding, and so they paid for the installation of these generators. They were installed, I guess, 2011, 2012-ish. So they're through their lifespan. And so moving forward, now that federal funds aren't going to pay to replace these, we're asking for your consideration. Do you want to continue to invest local funds that would come out of your general fund to repair this generator? Or would you rather just save some money and convert the transfer switch to where if we had long-term outages, we could just rent a generator, a mobile generator, and bring it in and connect it? Or is it worth it to you guys to prioritize having this building with standby backup generators 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if we needed to? And so Mr. Nate did his due diligence. He got quotes to do both options. And so we're just bringing it to you guys. I know since we've presented this to you, a few questions have come up on whether or not we're required by statute to provide backup generators for the DMV or the Register of Voters, who are both located in this building. We will continue to do our due diligence. We're just asking for a direction. If you choose to save the money, of course, we're going to do our research, make sure that we're allowed to abandon the generator, and we are going to talk to these entities to see if it's going to impact whether or not they'll continue to have an office, which is mainly the DMV. As long as everyone's in agreement to abandon it, we'll move forward if that's what you choose to do. But if today you tell us you just want to keep a generator, well then there's no point in us going and having these meetings with these ancillary districts and talking to them about it. So that's what Mr. Nate wants to present to you today. And any technical questions, he's prepared to answer.
We did check on Mr. Thomas at Southwest Cameron. They did a generator stand, and it was like $25,000 to redo our stand. So that's another added feature we got to think about too, 'cause that stand is pretty bad.
I am curious, one thing, if, when you get the information back to tell us whether we have to have one or not, how does that handle for the courthouse and other public buildings? I mean, are some of them required and some not? We need to know that ahead of time, because if we go into a rented or temporary one, we're gonna have to know how many we need. So we'll be ready for it.
Correct. And just to clarify for the public, we are only talking about the West Annex at this point.
And also, Miss Katie, I know we still on generator power and it goes out a lot. How often is this affecting like our office hours? Is it very few or?
Well, when our generator worked, we were able to continue offering services to the general public. Our generator unfortunately caught fire a month ago. During its normal, every Monday it would automatically do its run test, and it caught fire. So we're just now able to fix it. So I think we closed the office twice because of power outages in the last 45 days. We had to close early one day, and then we had to completely close the office for an entire day for planned outages with Jeff Davis Electric.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, just one thing to move forward on as well is we probably need to evaluate all the rest of these and see if we can try to catch it in a little more of a preventative than a reactive state. You
Yeah,
know?
the rest of them look pretty good. I don't know why ours is so rusty.
Yeah, I just, moving forward, because I'm almost certain that some of these buildings are gonna require, we're gonna have to have it, so,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, when it gets this far gone, there's no going back, so.
Do we have it on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
If we wanna remove it?
I think it's up to however we present it.
Yeah, no, it's not on the agenda, voting agenda.
It is,
Oh, it is? Which item is it, Marion?
it is item 16.
16. So one,
Okay, I just think, get rid of it, we don't need it. It's just gonna be added expensive, we got to keep all the money into it. And when we have a need for one, we'll rent one or acquire one some other way, different. That's my opinion.
I would think with the new lines, I mean, once they're finished, you would think it would be a little more reliable. I hope so.
And most of it is hurricane preparedness, and if we got a hurricane in the Gulf, we're gonna be retreating to the north, so it's not gonna be.
Any other questions? Yes? Thank you, Mr. Nate. All right, we got any, green cards? Okay, Ms. Mary?
So we received a few things in the mail, between meetings that I'd like to, read out to the jury. The first one is from the Grand Lake High School. It says, on behalf of Grand Lake High School, I would like to thank you for attending our career fair, and we look forward to collaborating with you next year. Christy Ledoux, Career Fair Committee. So thank you to those that attended the career fair. The next one, says, Dear Mr. Ronald Nunez Jr. and the Cameron Parish Police Jury members and everyone concerned, thank you for the proclamation you wrote, approved, and adopted, and recorded concerning my mom, Joanne Nunez. You honored her in a very thoughtful way doing so. Her many years of loving service to others is now permanently recorded in the annals of our parish history. You're much appreciated. Sincerely, Donnie Nunez. And the last one was received from Mr. Seth Woods. It came to Miss Katie and Mr. Shane, a letter of appreciation. As I reflect on the historical winter weather event last week, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you and your staff for the assistance provided to District 7. The addition of your resources allowed us to clear snow from the Ellender Bridge and effectively maintain public safety for all citizens of Southwest Louisiana. Seth Woods, the district engineer and administrator.
Comments, yes?
Yeah, Mr. Shane, I'd like to, I know in my area, you and your staff worked tirelessly through the snowstorm, and also I think me and Miss Mary done got together and I sent a letter of appreciation to Seth, but also I want to thank DOTD and their staff for also, putting themselves in harm's way to help us keep the roads open.
All right, y'all reviewed the agenda.
Mr. President, while you review the agenda, can I make a public announcement,
Yes,
please?
please.
I just want to make the public aware that we are having several open houses. It is time to update our coastal master plan. We invite all residents, stakeholders, Gravity Drainage District board members to collaborate with our staff, Kara Bonsall, and we have a private firm that's going to help facilitate the meetings. But we need everyone there to participate. What we do with this coastal master plan is going to be the plan that we take to CPRA and ask for funding. So we need to make sure we have everyone participate. Like I said, our local fishermen, residents, stakeholders, cattlemen, everyone needs to be involved. We have one scheduled for March 18th at the Johnson Bayou Community Center, March 19th in Hackberry at the Community Center, March 25th at the West Annex, March 26th at the Grand Lake Library, and the final one is April 8th at the Klondike Community Center. We invite everyone to participate.
All right, guys, while we're on the planning stuff, we discussed this at a for us to get together, we need to have a special meeting, start, and have a 10-year look-ahead plan for the parish. I think it's time that we start looking at the issues that we got and figuring out a way to tackle. We don't want to call in a third party at this moment, but we do have a regional planning board that could help us with this at some time in the future. So I just want to pass that on to Katie to be setting something up for us to get that done, if it's okay with you guys.
Yep.
I do.
Now we on the agenda.
Yes.
I got one question. Tom, on this, utility terrain vehicle, does that include golf carts or not? Or is it a separate?
No, golf carts you already addressed some time back.
Okay, so
This is just having to do with the ATV, kind of the side-by-sides, and it's limited only to specific areas. It's easier, what's excluded is Grand Lake and Sweet Lake, but the Sweet Lake Highway 27 East is included, would allow ATVs.
and that's only on parish roads.
Only on Parish Road, yeah, we can't control state.
Under 25.
Yeah, under 20, yeah, there's some, yeah, there's some limitations, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I got one, Miss Katie, for number 15, and maybe the gentleman in the back. Does the 4-H plan on bringing the shows back into the parish, or what's the plans for the future? If maybe he would like to address it, Mr. President?
So I am waiting on a few bids to come back on equipment, panels, and so forth. Within the next month, I should have something in hand. Hopefully next meeting, I'll be able to present that to y'all if y'all want to meet, or just a couple of y'all want to visit with us. More than welcome to. It's gonna be way more expensive than what we thought. One of the first bids came back was over 22,000. And that's a whole new setup, so we're gonna look at some other ways just to manage some of those costs, because that's quite a big bill.
Is that galvanized panels or
That's the big preferred heavy-duty panels,
coated or galvanized?
coated,
Okay.
yeah. So we are, your question about coming back next year, we are gonna work on getting it back.
Yeah.
We are working on getting it back next year, so.
Yeah, because I know my goal would be, pro Cameron Parish, and I would hate to let our money go to put on a show in Calcasieu Parish.
I understand, that's understandable.
I agree.
Mr. Pousson,
Yes, sir.
this funding for the LSU Ag Center extension programs, can you explain what all that's for?
So, years ago, and Miss Mary might have to help me on my memory here. Years ago, whenever we were in budget crisis, state was in budget crisis, they went to a cooperative agreement model with the parishes to fund 20% of salaries, whether it be buildings, equipment, whatever. It was 20%. So that is the 20% that Cameron Parish allocates to the state. Our agreement is actually coming up in May. So, but that will be for next budget cycle. Okay, so the bill that's in there now is for this year, from January to December. So when we renew the agreement in May with y'all, that's for 2026. So keep that in mind, because I'll probably be visiting with y'all soon on next agreement. Okay,
So when you said that the budget was in a crisis, it's no longer there?
that was 2008, and this was just an agreement that's been renewed every 5 years. We've been on a 5-year deal, so we've just been the same way.
Are y'all in a deficit or?
Depends who you talk to. Depends who you talk to, so. We've had that agreement for years. I mean, we are working for y'all. We are a parish, and technically, I still consider myself a parish employee, okay, not a state employee. We work for the people. So the fact that y'all funding some of us means that we are working for you.
And Mr. Michael, normally when the agreement comes up, a budget is presented with it, so where y'all know where they're at.
Right.
While he's standing there, we can jump to 17 and discuss what's not getting done at the Creole Maintenance Barn for the livestock pavilion. Y'all know? I mean, we're reducing the contract amount. What's not getting done?
Oh, everything was replaced, except for they had a speaker system. We didn't replace that, but everything's being restored back to pre-storm conditions. I think it's just the panels that they're gonna need help with.
Well, they're having a decrease in the contract amount by
That's-
$44,000 that may buy these panels. Why I'm asking, what?
No, sir, we actually spent that amount. We had to hire out another third-party contractor to come in and finish it because the prime contractor removed from the job. And so we're just deducting the amount we already spent to complete the building from the primary contractors.
And just for
Thought
the,
I had your panels, man. Thought I had-
Good try, Mr. Sun.
and just for the future, I remember last year or when the show come around, I know some of the people expressed their concerns. One was about they would have liked to seen on and over the wash racks for the show animals. Is there any truth or need for that, or?
That's gonna be with y'all's parish engineer as far as getting a win rate and what we actually need, and then the use for it for the parish as well, if there's gonna be any need for it for them as well too, so.
Well, I just want to make sure that we could do our due diligence. If there's something that we need to, if there's something that's withholding the board for the 4-H to utilize our facility if we're missing something, I just, let us aware of it and we'll try to do something.
Within the next month, we're gonna get all this ironed out, and we wanna get it, we wanna come back, we do want.
Okay.
We do wanna get it back, I mean.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Thank
think the biggest thing is a punctual forecast. I mean, I was receiving phone calls down in the last hour of, oh man, we're not moving it back, so just, if we can try to be proactive instead of reactive.
Definitely.
And I'd like to say thank you, Bradley, for all y'all do. Man, those kids that go through y'all's programs and especially that new STEM stuff, those kids really seem to love and adapt, and they're better kids because of y'all, and I would definitely like to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Anything else, Janet? Johnny?
Staff, anything for the staff?
So we're gonna have an add-on on the appointments. We had a resignation, and Mr. Sonny is gonna appoint someone today, so it's gonna be an add-on to item 7E for the Fire Protection District Number 10 Board. And then we're gonna add on the letter of support for additional funding for the Rockefeller Shoreline Continuation Project.
We do have our architect and A&E firm in the audience prepared to answer questions concerning the Creole Maintenance Barn or the OEP Pavilion. Both are items on your agenda, so if you have any questions for them, now would be a good time to ask.
Yeah, I would say the OEP pavilion about the liquidated damages, what was, the holdup, and get basically back on our story that we tabled from last month.
Derek, y'all want to take
Good morning.
Morning.
Derek Porsche with Porsche May Architects, and Kate McLean from our office as well. She's been project manager of the job.
Can you move the mic where?
Closer?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Sounds completely different up here. All right, how can we help answer any questions, or if y'all can, I know we weren't here at the last jury meeting, apologies for that, but, there was some conversations.
Yeah, on the OEP pavilion, what was the delay? Because I know a lot of the material was on site for an extended period of time, and now we have some liquidated damages. Can you, I guess, give us more insight on what took so long or what?
Our conversations that took place.
Yeah, so specifically as far as there was a change in generator location. There were some changes in the RV pad. And during that time, passed now, the steel did get delivered. We originally issued 2 different notice to proceeds to expedite that steel, so we were trying to accommodate, overall schedules and times. But specifically, we can get into the weeds, but it was a change order in the generator location in the RV. That's essentially the item at hand.
Was anything changed order by our staff or anybody, or delayed the work to be done in the time that was presented in the contract, or?
The change that was requested removed the generator from under a shed or a covered a roof, and then it got relocated outside of that. That change was owner directed, but other than that, that's essentially the process. Now, how fast the process happened, that there was some back and forth on clarity on that, and we don't feel. Might have been a little long, but yeah, specifically it had to do with the generator being requested to be relocated.
Did that halt production or the build of the process, or was y'all able to continue working until?
Yes, it did halt construction. The building had been ordered and was sitting on site and waiting. The reason why that slowed construction down is because when you removed the RV pad and relocated the generator pad, you had to redesign the slab and the reinforcement in that slab. The RV pad was already formed up and ready to be poured. So the contractor could not move forward until we got a decision on where the generator was going to go. We reviewed several options on different pricing. The jury declined some and accepted others. Once they were accepted, he moved forward with the redesign, and we issued what's called an ASI, or an architect supplemental instruction, for the change in the location of the pad, and he got back to work. So yes, it held him up because he had to pour the slab. You can't put a building until you have the slab.
Yeah, do y'all know how long that halted production?
Look at our timeline. We do have timelines that we can get you all the data with that we brought.
Yes, that way we can take all that into consideration.
Is the project 100% complete at this point?
Not officially 100% complete, no, sir. It's
Have a punch list left to go through?
the fire marshal inspections just got was notified this weekend that it's scheduled for tomorrow. Fire
So
marshal.
the original question came up in February of 2024. And the ASI, we were given permission to issue the ASI. It was issued in July. So the contractor was stopped between February and July. The fire marshal approves the building tomorrow. Then all it has left to do is go through permitting office here to close out the permit here and for the parish to accept occupancy. And then it will be finished.
Do y'all remember the start date of the contract?
You want the contract date, the notice to proceed date for procurement, or the notice to proceed date for construction?
Construction, please, ma'am.
14th of March, 11th of March, 2024.
Thank you, ma'am. I greatly appreciate it.
Could I ask a question real quick? Mr. Randy, is this aligned with everything that we had at the last meeting where we talked with the contractor?
Sorry, can we get
Is this aligning with what the contractor told us?
You asked me what?
I think what the reason we had them come up here today was because of we had to meet
Yeah.
with the contractor. We wanted to meet
And
with these guys.
the contractor was supposed to be here, he just texted me, tested positive for the flu, so, he ain't gonna show up.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it's a he said, she said thing.
Yeah, I know,
So,
he was kinda blaming the designers
Design team is what
Yeah,
was
'cause-
being told at the last meeting.
for the LD days, and,
and that's why I'm asking this question with him not being here. Is this aligned with what they're saying aligns with what he said? Is it
Yeah, 'cause we done gave 30 rain days, so to speak, I believe, and then there's a lot more additional days, and I'm gonna say the general contract basically said the holdup and delay on him for not getting paid was the, I guess, architect or engineer.
And I can pretty much verify, I mean, I work with these guys, they know they don't have the authority, like I don't have the authority to tell him he's excused from the LD days.
Yes.
So, and I was pretty involved in every meeting. I don't know where he got his misunderstanding at, and I'm not blaming Lewis, you know, I'm just saying, and back to the generator pad, you know, we didn't stop construction because that was poured after the fact. And they did. They poured it, you know. So, it was just, to me, just a little late.
So it sounds like to me, you know, y'all done y'all's part. The problem is with the general contractor. Because like I said, we even, by looking at the dates, start date was March 11th to July, and then we done gave them a month leadway, and now we're over how many days now, Mr. Randy? You would think?
You remember, I know the money amount, but I think it was
Approximately $16,000 again.
That's what his rules as well.
Yeah, he probably went over 6 months.
As far as just the discussion on LD days, I caught that at the tail end. We can't tell anybody they are or not subject. It's in the contract that they're subject. Now, is it in everyone's best interest to show production, work, be in best, limelight of everybody's eyes so we don't get there and it's not necessary? That's always encouraged during discussions. Just to be clear.
The actual substantial completion date was the 22nd of October, which was 45 days beyond his contract time.
Yeah, because you'll have the 45 days plus, we gave them an additional, I believe, 30 days, correct?
correct.
And then, you know, because he said y'all was in contact with somebody from our office, if I remember correctly, on our meeting when we discussed with them. And that spiked a couple of our attention as jurors, because we was like, if somebody in our office contacted you and said, hey, look, it's all right if you're going to be late, don't worry about it, we're not charging. Because right now, we want to make sure everybody uphold their contracts. I mean, we want them to be able to come to work and be in good faith, but at the same time, you know, it just sounded like a shortfall on staff, so we was trying to figure that out, if that was truthful or factual.
Nobody's told our office that Cameron would or wouldn't. These are things that evolve during a project. I mean, every day is different. You're constantly monitoring deliveries and lead times and change orders. It's in everyone's best interest not to ever get there. It's more paperwork for everybody involved, and no one ends up winning. But
Yes, sir.
No, that doesn't take place.
So what you're saying is the LD days are warranted?
I'm saying that's entirely up to the jury's decision.
We're not supposed to make a recommendation on that. We're supposed to tell you the number of days he was late. That's up to y'all.
And answer
We're not a
your
party to the
questions.
contract.
Yeah, I just want to be clear.
It's unfortunate he's not here today, but he was trying to put pawn it off on the design team. So, you know, we want to make a wise decision. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want to try to. I mean, it's not desirable to charge somebody $16,000, but in the same sense, business is business.
Right, and see, it's put in that contract to protect us, you know, and it's up to y'all after the fact, you know, so we can't make the story, but you got a contract to follow.
Who does that, who does these LD dates, who's it going to affect? Is it going to affect y'all's firm or the general contractor?
General contract.
Okay.
General contract.
Bad day for him to miss.
Yeah.
Bad day for him to miss.
Yeah, I know. Now, he told me he tested positive for the flu, so I can understand, but
Well,
it's
it's,
a bad day to miss.
it's good that he's not here, but at the same time,
Yeah.
bad for his business.
I understand.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It put a lot of clarity on a couple of things he said, because I highly doubt our staff would have went out and said, hey, look, X, Y, Z, and to y'all. So that's my biggest goal, was to clear that up, that accusation was said, because, you know, our staff are very professional and they do a good job. So we just wanted to kind of clear the air on that and kind of see what was where, where the blame lies and who had a shortfall before, we're gonna be, if this don't go through, it'll be $16,000 that somebody's not gonna get paid. So, I mean, to me, it's a tough decision, but I appreciate y'all coming and shedding some light on it.
I mean, help me explain something. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have to charge for the whole, amount, right?
You can do whatever you want with it.
It is entirely up to your decision. You yes. I mean, you are in control of that. There's more to it than, checking a box sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of events, circumstances, lead time, deliveries, things that are just not able to be controlled under construction. It just depends on the specifics. Now, in this instance, it's entirely in your court to decide if at all or how much of those liquidated damages that you're contractually, allowed to go out.
So we don't have the contract in front of us right now. Do we have a timeline to make that decision, Randy, or?
There is no set timeline other than if you do it before you pay his final payment, then it's reasonably easy with hold. That's something you have to talk to your legal counsel about.
Okay. I seen our legal counsel walk out the door on the phone, so I.
So for myself, just to make sure, it was 45 days, and then we add 30 to we gave them an extension already, so
Yeah,
it'll be
we gave him
75.
30 days, to help him out.
Okay.
And she stated 40.
That 45 was after the 30 you granted.
Okay, yeah.
It's exclusive of the 30 you granted. So we granted him the 30, processed a change order with the new substantial completion date. He missed that date by 45 days.
Yeah, so with that, just in reality, he's 75 days past the original date.
Correct.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys? Hey.
Good.
Mark? Good. No?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I don't get, we need to add.
I actually do have some, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was gonna be on the agenda, but maybe I mislooked, about the OEP building in Grand Lake. They had some concerns about flooding and stuff like that, if we could talk about that.
Yes. So she gave us,
Yes. I would like to see, it seems like that's gonna be a ongoing issue and stuff, so I think it
Who's gonna address that? Is that something for Randy? That for you, Randy?
Is that the
Sure.
Yeah, the design thing, that's one of the EOC buildings.
Yes.
EOC.
Drainage, and I'll let them know that, and y'all probably gonna be questioning. I'd rather them explain it to you.
You a popular guy.
All the right ways, guys. Look forward to getting to know y'all, just not only under this circumstance. No, yes, we have a change order for it's associated, because that's, our project is the North Cameron Emergency Operations Center. That's on the professional record on that project. So under that scope, we have looked at a drainage issue that has impeded apparently between the Council on Aging property and the North Cameron Emergency Operation property. We have a change order in process. It's being reviewed. I wish I had more details.
So, just in general, because I know we specifically got ordinance, you can't do construction to a property and flood out a neighbor. In designing this, y'all didn't foresee that y'all was gonna flood out this building?
Well, the law actually states that you can't have your property flood out a neighbor, but you must contain your own property line drainage. So just
So to speak, okay, it's our property with our property. We started a project. I would think somewhere's in there, it would still basically say, y'all should have foreseen that and designed it to where it would have let that property drain.
yeah, if we're referring to the building, the fire station.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't there during design. That showed up. I think we were notified during bidding process.
When was design date? Because I remember I built the pad for the building. I was working for Roy Bailey at the time, and that was some time ago, but I don't know when the design was up.
The temporary fire station wasn't there when they did the design, the plan. But after, before construction, you know, yeah. Like that.
Is there any way, and I can't get in the day-to-day, but I just went and looked at it because Miss Dinah expressed her concerns for the fire station and stuff like that. And I mean, when I went, it was underneath water, you know.
Yeah.
If you was inside that building, you was standing in water. Is there anything we can do in the time being or something in that nature? Maybe?
Yeah, we've been looking at how to accommodate that. Absolutely. We have, like I said, we have got with our engineers to develop some kind of solution for that, and it's being reviewed as, yeah.
Okay.
Is that something we're gonna have to bite the bullet on? Yes.
I'll be honest, once I see the information, I'll have more information, but I did ask for drawings and the elevation of that building to try to help analyze. I haven't gotten any, so I don't have any information on that building. I've asked for it.
Now you're gonna almost have to put a catch basin and all this, carry across. I mean,
Well, the only issue I have at the moment is it's a fire building. If an emergency was to take place and they needed to get in there and get their stuff, you know, it's flooded underwater. That's my concern, just because it's part of a 911
I understand.
division.
Yeah.
So
And how much longer is that going to be? Because I've contacted y'all several times. So how much longer is it gonna take to get this underway?
Well, without rushing things, and we spoke Monday, it'll be on the next docket, like I mentioned. I'm reviewing now. We just couldn't. We got it in due diligence reviewing. Probably this week we'll have some kind of answer that it'll be on the next agenda.
So it'll be on the police jury agenda for April?
That's our goal. We'll have information sooner, but just the way the jury meetings lay out.
So we
So Katie, what can we do as the police jury to, for rain events, make sure or pump out or do whatever we can until we sort this out to basically stop Miss Dinah and just good Samaritans going pump this off?
It's being bumped right now as we speak.
Yes. Is there anything we can put in place for the police jury staff to take care of this shortfall and keep it underway to where they can still function and basically get it off Miss Dinah's back from the time being to get it taken care of?
Yes, sir. We do have facility maintenance crew, and we can assign that task to them.
Yeah, I would greatly appreciate that, just to give Miss Dinah some breathing room and the firefighters and all that, because most of them I know is volunteer firefighters. So every time it rains, you know, they all got to get together, go out there and take care of it.
And what do you suggest I do about the things that are already ruined?
I think you need to make a list of it and present it to us, and I believe on our behalf, it's our due diligence to either make it right or see who's at fault on this issue. But it definitely is an issue, and myself would like to see it addressed and something be done, at least a reaction until we get the final action.
Yeah, just for the record, I'd love to see the base flood elevation for that building and how it was put together, just because there's certain elevations buildings are required to be at.
That was
Yes, sir.
the police jury.
Miss Dinah, is that a permanent building? Was that built to
No,
be
it wasn't built to be a permanent building.
Okay, it's just,
We had to have a building to house Company One, or we would all have gone to a 10 with the fire rating.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
most of us would never been able to buy that insurance. And we were put with our back against the wall because basically that had to happen last year, period. We didn't have any choices in the matter. So this was temporary. Randy got the building set up. This was definitely temporary, but I don't know how long temporary is going to be.
so where's the permanent building gonna go, ma'am, right on that same site, or?
Not to my knowledge. At first it was, but then this has changed considerably since we first started because I sat in on the meetings. So I have no idea if it is even going to go on parish property at this point, because I don't know anything about. It was designed, supposedly it was designed to have a fire station and a dispatch station for the sheriff department all the way to the front. But as things went by, things changed drastically in that area. So as far as we could possibly have to purchase some property elsewhere to go to?
No, that's still the plan, Miss Dinah. There's property in front, well, due south of the current EOC. The game plan is we're trying to get funding together. The sheriff is committed to funding. We're trying to get our PW funds together so we can construct that building. But even if we can't get funding and we have to just do something just for the fire station and abandon the dispatcher idea, there's still room to build a small fire garage right there.
But in the meantime, we have to keep that temporary building.
Right, we're trying to get
And
the
do it.
North Cameron EOC construction out of the way. Like, we want to get it complete and operational, and then we're gonna go to, working on the Grand Lake Fire Station. You have any comments?
No, I just want to say that the planning was put in place for both of those projects to work in conjunction. So the Emergency Operations Center, its location and a lot of its utility lines and how it's favoring one side of the property, all of those kind of systems are put in place for that future development.
But in the meantime, we have to utilize this building.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes.
But no plans have changed. It's still the same plan that the fire station has
Well, no
signed off on.
no communication has been given to the fire board.
Okay, but it's still the same thing. I'm sorry I hadn't touched base
I would
with you,
just
but
like
we
to
haven't
have
made any
an update
changes.
on that. And also, we're looking at a timeline. What are we looking at a timeline?
Yeah, so North Cameron EOC, what's the estimated completion date there right now?
Okay.
August.
August?
August?
August for NCOC. And then the drawing packages for, we're calling Gillette C, Grand Lake Fire Station and Sheriff Dispatch. We stopped it in, I think, DD's, so there was a construction documentation phase for engineering that would need, time.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify that. The
Right.
drawings are not complete, ready for bidding. It's just going on record.
But everything has been approved by our OEP director, our sheriff, and the fire department. It just was approved probably 18 months ago.
Yeah, the design program.
So guys, I would ask that we give direction to our staff, until we get this shortfall taken care of, to utilize road and bridge, like Miss Katie said, to give relief to Miss Dinah and the fire department and all the other people involved that, goes there on daily routines whenever it's raining or whatever to pump off this water where they can utilize the building, and also have it not at the fire board's cost to utilize our crews to do this if y'all for that.
I do have one question. I think she asked it already, timeline. Do you have any estimate on when this could be completed?
For which topic?
For the drainage?
Yes,
issue?
we have the change order. The design was complete. The contractor reviewed it. We've gotten his information. We just got it. I think it might have been Friday. So we're looking into that. So I would hope to have our responses in a week or two, which ultimately puts us on the next agenda for the.
Okay, but you're saying your response, which would be to issue something to the contractor to do it, correct?
Our response is just making sure that it works. The engineering is compliant. We're looking at it from a QA, QC perspective, not necessarily, does that make sense? Am I answering your question?
No, not really, because I understand we have to engineer and everything, but I wanted to get an idea how long she's gonna have to worry about the flood water coming into the building.
As soon as we would get approval, the amount of time the work takes to get complete, so if at the next jury meeting there was an approval, just a hypothetical, the time that would take to get complete, I can get you that information, but I would be speaking on behalf of another company. It's the contractors. My estimation would not really hold any water. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd have to get with the gentleman responsible. I mean, he has a schedule to keep too.
I guess.
But it should not be long. It's a demo of concrete, it's a pipe installation, and it's poured back, but I'm not a general contractor.
We'd like to expedite if we can.
Yes, sir. Oh, absolutely.
That needs to be a priority.
100%. I'll go on the record saying yes, sir. Yep.
If they get the change order in and y'all wanna have a special meeting to approve that?
If we need to,
Yeah,
to
I
get
think
it
we
done,
will.
yes, I agree with that.
Whenever, as soon as I can package it.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, ASAP. That's my response.
Hey Randy, moving forward, sound like we're on a short end of the law here, but we probably need to put a line item in that we don't want to flood our own property moving forward.
And, gentlemen, just to clarify for the record, because this is a grant-funded project, the design plans were submitted and approved like a full 12 months before we ever came to you to even start construction. And so in that 12-month period is when the PIL rating systems came up. Ms. Dinah had concerns. We had to do something fast. And so
Perfect.
In a perfect world, we would have definitely taken that into account, but because it's grant funded, it's just a timing issue, but we're gonna do our best to make sure we mitigate everything, and moving forward, our facility maintenance crew can, continue to do mitigated measures to prevent flooding. And so I just do wanna ask Ms. Dinah, do y'all have a pump that you're currently using, or do we need
Yes,
to
it
purchase?
belongs to an individual fireman.
Okay, so we would need to purchase
Yeah,
something.
you would need to purchase it.
Okay, so we'll probably have to get a pump purchased and everything.
And Ms. Dinah, I just want to extend a sincere apology on behalf of the jury, or at least myself, for your frustrations and the guys and everybody. Had I known ahead of time, I'd have tried to do my best to address it.
Well, I was trying to work within this system.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I just want to let you know we're sorry for the shortfall, and I do believe everybody's going to do their best to take a lot of burden off of you on this issue.
Thank you.
So the west side of that property also got built up during this time. But, Mr. Randy, we looked at this building, it looks pretty simple. You think we could raise this up and put gravel?
The fire station?
Yes, sir. It looks like I mean, I know you know what it is, but it's basically just anchored down.
Yeah, it can be elevated. I think we need to fix this catch basin, in my opinion. We need to fix this drainage. Like you said, it's temporary. Then we'll look at elevating, but, because right now we got, even if we elevated it, we got a dam over there.
Yeah, no, it's
Brook coming into it.
and he built up on the west side also, you know, so it's kind of.
One way or another, we still, even if we pick up, we got problems. So after we get this fixed, I said,
Yeah.
yeah, we can look into it.
And this is gonna have to be an add-on, guys, because this isn't on parish property. We do have an existing CEA with council and agent, I believe, but we'll just have to do some sort of resolution granting us authority to assign the road crew or facility maintenance to incur costs out of the general fund on behalf of council and agent.
We share that property.
No, ma'am, I believe it's your property.
So it's 100%.
Yes, ma'am,
It wasn't originally, because we looked at it and your gentleman came and showed me what part was parish and what part was council on aging.
Well, to me, if that's factual, that changes it back to the ordinance. We're not supposed to flood out the neighbor's property.
Yeah, we're gonna check on it, but we had a survey to make sure that the building was built on their property. Everything was constructed that way in case they wanted to take over the building. If we built our new fire station, instead of tearing that down, if council and agent saw that they could utilize that building for storage, it was on their property to keep it.
Well, just by looking at it, I'm pretty sure that's why the cement driveway stopped where it did, and y'all didn't keep elevating all the way up to the building.
No, actually, the curb, that curb stop, we have accommodated to try to get that building to be put in play in a little bit better function. So when we stopped that curb cut, the contractor was working with us in a change orders still can be a credit or whatever, to be able to get some kind of a gravel access to that door. But no, we didn't stop anything it was at request to try to help out that building.
Ms. Katie,
But we can do
find
all
out
this,
and-
we
and
just
make
gotta do
sure?
the paperwork to allow it, but we know what we need to do to allow it. We just need y'all to vote on it to allow us to do it.
We'll add it on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to see it added on, and can we also determine whether that's ours or hers or both?
Yes, sir, we have the survey and the
Okay.
title opinion.
Thank you, Ms. Katie.
So another add-on will be a resolution allowing the police jury to utilize funds and employees.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie, for the fire station, do we know of any equipment that was
Yes, we
immediately damaged that we
Yes,
need
sir.
to have replaced?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes, ma'am, if you send that to me, Ms. Dinah, we can take a look at it. Some of it might be covered by insurance. We can
Yes.
try that route first, and then we can bring it to you guys.
If it's something that needs to be replaced.
But we also continuously have damages on the service truck because we can't get it inside the building because there's no access to that door that he was just speaking of.
Well, see, I was gonna go in there and build an approach, but I talked with architects, and If I just build an approach, I'm gonna create another dam.
Right.
So,
Well, but in the meantime, the service truck is.
yeah, it's
is-
outside.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, we need to prioritize this drainage.
Yeah, I would think so, and definitely, let's make sure to address all the problems and not just the water problem, if there's anything else that
Yes.
we're unaware of.
They gave me a question.
So anything, it is preventing fire services, or?
It's not preventing the service, it's preventing from us from keeping a truck under
The roof.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
that we are mandated to do.
Right.
This all happened a week after, we actually had our review. And because of our putting in this building, we passed the review.
Right.
Without the building, we would not be talking about fire insurance in Grand Lake.
Yeah, it
And
would've-
that's how important it is.
Cool.
And we're just, the truck is out in the open.
Yep.
So there will be some things that will have to be replaced on it, but it is of no use to do that now.
Well, I
Hey,
think,
one quick question. How deep did the water get in the building? How deep?
4 inches.
4 inches? Okay.
And we got it down to 2 inches, and then just recently, you would have thought that was during the snow and all of this, but it fills up in there pretty quick, just like I didn't think we had that much rain this past weekend, but when we got there this morning, we had to go put the pumps on. But I will get you a list of the equipment that is already gone.
I think when they get the design and everything, even if we're gonna have a special meeting, we need to address this and get it fixed.
yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
'Cause it hasn't even started.
Now, is
raining
this
yet.
design is gonna actually take care of the future? Or are
It's
we
gonna
just
take
fixing the problem
temporarily.
today?
Future's kind of hard to determine, but with the current situation, the site assessment that it is as of now, without any further development, yes, this catch basin that's going to be installed is going to route the water where it should go, which is to the opposite side of the property, which is towards the water tower, north.
Is that gonna be force fed or is that gonna be?
No, that
gravity?
is gravity fed. It's a very logical, it's a common sense approach, as we like to call it.
8-inch design or 12-inch frame design?
It should be permanent fix.
I'll check on that. Now, that line, we'll call it, it's not gonna, I wouldn't suggest pulling it out, whether the building's there or not. Does that make sense? So if you say temporary versus permanent, I just wanted to clarify what we're looking, right?
Yeah.
Changes for everybody.
Now, I know all about construction, so just go ahead and give us a 12-inch design.
It's never big enough. It's like having enough storage, yes, sir. And then Randy did ask me for a pipe diameter size for that connection from the parking to the side door. So we'll get him that, but ultimately, it's ASAP. As soon as I get information, I'll let you know.
And Randy, the sewer issue is gonna be taken care of before they're done?
Yeah.
Where you had to put the lines on top of the ground?
Right.
Because they busted up the sewer lines?
Yeah, that's it. That's a whole
I don't
different
work
world.
on sewers.
Have a different answer.
It don't ever stop.
Thank y'all, guys. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we have, 3 add-ons.
Yep, 3 add-ons, appointment for Fire Protection District 10, letter of support for the additional funding for Rockefeller Shoreline Continuation Project ME 41, and a CEA with Council on Aging to allow the police to utilize funds and employees to help prevent flooding of the temporary fire station.
Motion.
Before you adjourn,
We'll make the motion.
In the next meeting.
so, I don't know if this is a good time, y'all, I think you're about to adjourn. So in your executive session, the Grand Lake 31, C and D, I'm gonna ask that you defer those 2 items to your next meeting. And the reason being that I don't control this, but expected to meet with your contractor, Roy Bailey, and his attorney the week before your original scheduled date. It did not happen. But y'all required that the agenda be prepared at some point before I knew that that was gonna happen or not. So I put it on here in the event that it did happen, but it didn't happen. So the end result is just, that's why I'm asking defer it to those two items till next month. Because this month I hope and expect to meet with Roy Bailey so I can give y'all an update, you know, because I need to hear from him. But
Yes, sir.
otherwise, I have everything I think I need. But, so anyway, any questions about that?
Since you're asking something of us, I'm asking something of you. You was outside earlier, but this discussion about OEP, I'd like you to try to look at that and give us some legal advice, and if we gotta table it, we gotta table it.
Oh, the liquidated damages.
Correct.
Okay, I did look at some case law, and I didn't bring it with me. And so liquidated damages says, the case law says something about unreasonable delays or something. The case law adds some element of it. It's not absolute. It's not what we call strict liability or an absolute. So if there is some justification or some reason why there was a delay, then liquidated damages may not be appropriate. But again, at the end of the day, it's for you to decide whether you think that was a reasonable, appropriate delay or not. And that's why originally I asked Randy Thomas to bring it to y'all, because your staff doesn't have the authority to make that policy decision. It's your decision, but it doesn't mean you have to enforce it. Listen to what everybody has to say, and then you make a decision whether you think under these circumstances it's appropriate or not appropriate. You know. But there is an element in the law of reasonableness, or in the reason for that delay. So, that help? Or?
Yeah, we got the hard decision.
No. That's why that's why you're elected to do this job.
One of the things he asked was there a time limit on how long can you hold that before you make a decision? Is there a time limit on the contract?
Well, we hypothetically I guess we have a retainer. We owe the contractor some amount of money. You would, if you enforce or implement liquidated damages, you would deduct it from that amount. And I don't know what our due date for paying the contract. I guess we've accepted substantial completion. We got the lien period has run. Are we at that? We
have not accepted.
No. Okay. So no, we're not even to the point of having to pay them that retainage yet, because we haven't gotten to substantial completion. The lien.
So just suppose we get to substantial completion, we got 2 weeks, 30 days.
45 days for the lien period, and then that has to clear before we pay them. So you've got plenty of time. There's no rush to judgment.
Sounds like a table for me.
That helps?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dodd.
Right, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
A second.
Motion by Mr. Mark, second by Mr. Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. President, how long is the recess? Because we're past 11 o'clock.
15 minutes.